So all I'm saying is it wasn't a lighthouse. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't an Apollo capsule coming down from the helicopter. It appears to be something, and I say appear because the initial report's going to come out on what was the initial codes, and the rest of them are being looked at. But it appears to be he had some kind of download. Okay? Now, I'm not an expert, and I can't tell you how it was downloaded, why it was downloaded, and who downloaded it. But there's something there that shows certain things that are hard to deal with. Okay? And the fact that if you look at where we feel the site was, it pushed more to the right, which pushes out towards Capitol Green. Okay? And that's where some of the other stories come out, that some other stuff happened out there. So it's clear that a lot of this, or the stuff took place to the right of the farmhouse. Now, I got a question for you before you start asking us questions. We'll go a little farther. How many of you been out in that field at night? Okay. A lot of you. Okay. How many of you been out in the field? Where have you gone? Have you been to the left of the farmer's house or to the right of the farmer's house? Right. Everywhere. Okay. Okay. Have you ever noticed? Do you remember? Everybody remember how Colonel Hall says the house glows? It glowed red. Yeah. Remember how he's made that statement? It still glows today. But it's not from the craft. It's not from an alien encounter, but it's from the lights in the house. And when I went back out there 2 nights ago, the house looked exactly like it did when he described it, only in a certain point in the field. Which tells you again, we were to the right, we were down by that finger of trees, and something very strange happened out there. Okay? And I came back here to try to understand it better. Okay? I went into hypnosis because I was told I went into something twice, which I don't remember. And I honestly don't. But under hypnosis, it says I did. Okay? His hypnosis opens up a lot of things that's there. And he wasn't led. Now, how it got there, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is this, it's there. And that in itself is kind of strange, wouldn't you agree? I don't think we sat down and wrote a nursery rhyme or a story out trying to make this come out. We went under, and this stuff came out. Okay? And I understand people who argue about hypnosis and say, well, you could have been misled or this could have happened. I'm not going to sit here and argue with that because I'm not the expert on that either. But a lot of what came out was just what happened and it flowed. So there's 1 or 2 answers to that one, basically. Either that's what really happened or somebody put that there. And who would have put that there? And why would it be there? So when I go into hypnosis, I'm sitting here thinking, well, this will help it clear it up. It didn't. Okay? When he introduced the codes, which I never knew about, I mean, my look on my face that night was probably the same as what it was when whatever it was in front of us. Then they have the codes initially looked at and verified by 2 or 3 sources that they all come up with some of the same individual stuff, which some of it will be revealed on Thursday night. It's kind of hard to deal with, and I'm going to be honest with you. And that's where some of the people now start talking about the human toll on Larry Warren, on Jim Peniston, on myself, on Adrian Bustinza, and everybody else. And to be honest with you, most of us can't give you a straight answer of what it was, why it was here, what happened to us, but we know something happened to us. As you can see from our humor on those t-shirts, it wasn't the lighthouse. It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't a space capsule. Could it have been military? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of for you to decide. You've got to think about, did we have that technology back then? Did we have that technology? Okay? Could have been alien? I don't know. How many of you saw Colonel Conrad's statement that was released unauthorized? He said to Dave Clark that it could have been E.T. He doesn't know. Okay? So the base commander has openly admitted he doesn't even know what happened to us. Now he has some feelings, but he did list that it could be E.T. So this is a man who's in charge of the base. Okay? You have the wing command. I don't know how many of you seen this short interview he did, but he basically said I couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. I don't know what that means. He wouldn't confirm or deny the incident happened, but he was very upset that the halt memo came out. Okay? And why would they put a halt memo out? Okay, I can't answer that.
13 days later.
Yeah, 13 days later, but it came out. It's not factual in the dates, some of the things that went on, but basically he put together something that said a lot of different things, so it happened a lot of different ways. But what I'm trying to get to you is this has helped me to come back and to realize some things, but the story hasn't ended, and I don't know if it ever will. But there are some things in there that I can't explain. I don't know why they're there, I don't know why they're happening, but it seems to be taking a timeline, and it's really hard to deal with sometimes. And what I'd like to do here is to thank you all for coming and listening to what we're having to say here, and we're trying to give you an idea about what we've been dealing with and what we're feeling about. And it wasn't intentional that we didn't release some of this information. It's just the way it's happened, and it's there. The notebook will verify it, and it will be presented as evidence. But something very strange happened to us. And I think Jim's got a couple more things to say, and then we'll be happy to take as many questions as you want to ask.
The cover-up is probably the major part of this, okay? I'm not sure the dates. Was it Friday? I don't know. Tell what night was the first night? Friday?
It started Thursday night.
Thursday night. And then we had the incident with John again, and Halton, his debunking efforts. And so Monday morning, I get a call before I go to work from Ipswich. It's my early room. Report the OSI building. Don't tell anybody. I ride with John. I take him to work. So, tell him on the way to work, John, I'll drop you off. I got some stuff to do, and then we'll go over to see Colonel Hall, because they were told to do that. So I got on the OSI building, and I'm not saying it was OSI. It was in the building, okay? I know every OSI agent. I'm a cop. I know them. I didn't know these two guys. Who are they? They're in suits. And they were nice guys. They wanted to buy me Cokes. They wanted to make sure my career was intact, and they wanted the truth. Write a statement. Don't hold anything out. Don't worry, we'll classify it. No problem. I was scared to death. I told them everything. Wrote everything out. 4 or 5 pages. Gave that to them. Still waiting down there. Come back in about 20 minutes to do. They hand me a typed statement. The typed statement that you see on the internet. It's supposed to be my statement. It isn't signed. It isn't dated. But it's been released as my statement. No, it's the OSI or those 2 officers I was talking to. Their cover story. It's generic. It's metallic craft you got within 50 meters. Blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. I says, what am I supposed to do with this story? You're going to tell this to anybody that investigates it. The command element, another investigation, security police, whatever it is. This is the story. Read it, remember it. Okay, that's an order. Investigation going on. So I go through all that, and I do my best job I can to remember that stupid thing, right? So I go to pick up John. We go down to Colonel Halt's office. He plays us that silly tape. I mean, I've heard it 100 times. Okay. Oh, so what does this mean, Colonel? Oh, it means that I believe you guys. Okay. We want you to do statements. Okay, so we do statements. Sit John on one end of the conference table and me on the other, so I guess we can't, make the statements together or so, I don't know. And so I write mine out, handwritten, dated it, signed it, did my drawings. John did the same thing. Airman Kabanzak did the same thing. The statement's been released. It's my statement. It's not my statement. It's the one from OSI. It's the cover story. You guys have been reading the cover story for 30 years. Good job, right? What a cover-up. Airman Kabanzak. He wasn't too new. He was new to the flight. He's easy to work. He's an airman. Brand new. Here's your type statement on the form. Sign it. Well, can I read it? Sign it. He signed it. He's scared to death. The only thing they probably couldn't have happened is something with John. Maybe John, under sodium pentothal, couldn't have his memory changed, altered, or something. Thank God. We used that statement to find the actual landing site. If it wasn't for that, he was just an airman. Maybe that was it. Don't worry about it. They got the security supervisor. He's taken care of. They got the deputy base commander.